Today's piece of tech is not so much a single weapon as part of a build, kind of part of a loadout that you can slot into certain types of builds and loadouts to make them even more powerful in a way that maybe you didn't think of before. So, behold, a little used aura, it seems to me, Growing Power, and its companion weapon, the Artax. So, Growing Power is an aura that allows you to gain 25% power strength anytime you apply a status effect, but the Artax is a Sentinel weapon that has a guaranteed cold proc. And yes, I'm sure you can guess by now, Sentinel weapons do proc Growing Power. So if you get a Sentinel with large range, like Dariga, which as you can see here has a precept that gives it 70 meters of range, the highest range of any Sentinel, it will be able to shoot this very precise, guaranteed cold proc laser at any nearby enemies, and you will always get that 25% bonus power strength to all of your abilities. So you can be running around, let's say against some Lancers, and all you have to do is jump in. You don't have to try to do it at all, and your Dariga will easily be able to, there I have Growing Power already, you just immediately and always will get Growing Power. It's already been refreshed a few times, and you just have it, and you can just continue. There we go, 5 again. You just have Growing Power forever. So any of your abilities you cast will get that additional power strength. So for example, I'll use World on Fire, and the whole duration will have 25% power strength. It's been refreshed like 6 more times since I casted that, so if I use, say, this, it will also have more power strength, and this, and everything has more power strength. You just have that power strength as part of your build. It's basically a way to add and intensify to your aura slot without having to, I mean, you can't normally do that, so it lets you do that. And I'm sure some of you can already think of some more powerful applications. Excalibur! Yes. So the thing to keep in mind here is that when you're using Growing Power to give yourself extra power strength, you want to make sure that it's on a build where that's justifiably more damage than using Corrosive Projection. So on Ember, that was really just an example. I just have it on my Ember because I'm lazy. But on Excalibur, having that additional power strength, I mean, Exalted Blade does a ton of damage, and sometimes that's better. Corrosive Projection is good, but not quite as versatile. And having the freedom to have tons of power strength, this build has, when these two effects are active, has 225% power strength, even though it's only got 150% worth of power strength mods. Only one dedicated power strength mod besides these. But these will last for the whole duration of your Exalted Blade, so all you have to do is activate them one time and then you're good to go for the whole duration. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to fight these same enemies again, and I'm going to grab an energy orb, and I'm going to jump in and wait for my Dariga to hit something, which will be real quick. There it is. Bam. And now this Exalted Blade will have 225% power strength for its entire duration, and I can just mow down as many enemies as I want for as long as I like. And it's so much power, and it's very, very reliable. You don't really have to set it up at all. You just have to get an energy orb ever, and then have your Dariga hit a dude ever, and as long as you don't Exalted Blade prematurely, like just be a little bit patient, you will just have that much power strength. This lets you add a lot more power strength to builds that might not otherwise have it, which can be a very valuable asset. Now, I've done a whole video on this Excalibur loadout that features like the Nikana Prime and shows that build and talks about exactly how all of it is set up, and the fashion and everything. That's all elsewhere. So go check out those videos in the description if you like, and it's the very same with the Ember that I was just showing you. If you're interested in a whole video on this loadout and how it works, why I chose the weapons I chose, how they work together, I have a whole separate video on that. Check that out in the description. Anyway, while we're here, big reason that I wanted to show this is because when you get a Warframe with a V slot, it can often be kind of difficult to figure out what to use that's actually good for a build, instead of just using Steel Charge for extra mod points, but it doesn't really do that much because it's additive damage anyway. So if you have a V slot and your Warframe wants power strength, this can be a very good option. But let's talk just a little bit about like what you can put on the Dariga and the Artax. So on the Artax, I have nothing. This weapon does absolutely horrifyingly low damage, like such an upsettingly low amount of damage. You really, really should not, please do not, just do not, put nothing on this weapon. In fact, in some of my testing, I have been able to produce a result where the weapon will break if you try to mod it. If you make it fire slower, it will actually stop working sometimes, and even with other mods. And my friend Zelp actually did a whole video exploring why that might be happening, what the code is doing that is causing it to break. So if that sounds interesting to you, I know that's a niche topic, but it actually turned out to be really interesting. Go ahead and check out that video, that's in the description too. But yeah, don't put anything on this weapon. On Dariga, however, I have some suggestions to make. So I run Fired Up for Death Machine Rifle. It's not for the Artax. But the rest of these mods are specific enough to this. So I definitely recommend Arc Coil and Electropulse. And Mediray is very, very nice. This will keep you topped off. Great mod overall if you can afford it. And obviously you want Enhanced Vitality because this Sentinel has a lot of base health. Up there rivaling Carrier's survivability, although it does have a little bit less health, less armor, and less shields. It's still got a lot of health, so that's nice. And definitely Animal Instinct, always run this. Primed Regen, always run normal regen. I just like Salt, so I decided to pick this up. And Guardian, mostly basic Sentinel mods, but Dariga is really, really nice. Having Arc Coil and Electropulse as a little safety net of close-range crowd control for when Ember's World on Fire is not enough to stun all the enemies or whatever is very nice. And I generally use Dariga as kind of like a bodyguard Sentinel. If there's any Warframe that doesn't want enemies to get too close, then this can be a very helpful Sentinel for that. And it's also got the health to survive engagements where it's close to enemies, right? So it's a very good general purpose Sentinel. I think a lot of people just stick to Carrier, and even though we have Vacuum on every Sentinel, they just always use Carrier anyway. But you should really try this, because having a hard crowd control ability and like a group stun, anyway, it's good. It's worth a shot. There you are. Hope you enjoyed this little piece of tech. I'll see y'all next time.